talk about rutabagas. What we thought would be, and actually it helps me because I can get ahead of the game, is doing some advanced prep work for Thanksgiving, which is coming up. So two things that I always make in advance are I prepare my stuffing and then I freeze it, so then I don't need to worry about that the morning of. And I'll try to make a pop in the oven type veg dish, like a side. And this veg dish that I'm making with the rutabaga is an old Ontario, I got it from the Laura Secord Canadiana cookbook, which is probably out of print now. But it's basically a apple turnip scallop. So using very fall-friendly vegetables and fruits. Rutabagas, most underrated vegetable. Either
Agreed.
some people don't like them, I don't really get that. A great wintertime vegetable when nothing else is available. They keep forever, they are super cheap, extremely nutritious, and incredibly versatile. Peeler.
Yeah.
Way easier using a peeler. Okay, I'm still peeling my rutabaga. Okay, so we're going to be mashing this. So I'm going to keep it in relatively large pieces. So I'm just going to cut it in 4. Here we are. We have 4 chunks of rutabaga. They are going in the saucepan with about an inch of water.
Boil it.
And you can turn it on high. Okay. They'll take about, I don't know, like 20 to 25 minutes to cook, something like that. So the stuffing. So throughout the year, I throw, if you have freezer space, I throw in odds and ends of bread, like these butthole ends from the baguette, like nobody eats these. Does anybody? Nobody eats these. And these were like 2 lonely brioche buns that got mangled in the freezer, so they're gonna become part of my stuffing. And they all becomes part of my stuffing. These are just gonna be broken up into bite-sized pieces. And this recipe is basically my mother's stuffing recipe, which is a classic bread stuffing. There's nothing fancy about it. Very old school, but I love it.
She found it.
The secret ingredient is, it's called poultry seasoning. Amazing stuff, and you use a lot of it. Okay, again, I'm gonna use the leaves and everything. That's the best part.
You wanted 25 minutes on the rutabaga?
Yeah. Now my mom used a whack load of butter, so I'm gonna use a whack load of butter. Yeah. Because the one thing that you want is a nice, moist stuffing, right? Sustainable. I'm gonna saute the onions.
Yes.
We can do all the rest of those onions and the celery. And where did my wheat go? Hang on. So I'm gonna, just because I have them, I don't maybe normally do this, but I have them and it'll be great. Okay, you can throw the onions in there. Okay, and now I'm gonna come over and we're going to just let the, okay, and to the bread mixture, now add our poultry seasoning.
Okay.
This is sage. Okay, and when I said a lot, I meant a lot. Gives it flavor. Bunch of salt, bunch of pepper. And then so we're gonna add in the sauteed vegetables with the butter. The other thing that my mom uses to add moisture to the stuffing and also to help bind it together is eggs. So once we mix all of that in it and it cools down a little bit, we'll mix the eggs in. Then once you've done that, I have a saved bread bag. I'm gonna put all this, ones with no holes in it, put all the stuffing in the saved bread bag, take the air all out of it, and then pop it right away into the freezer, and so that it stays frozen until you're ready to stuff your turkey with it. And you just pop it in the fridge the day before you want to use it, and it'll unthaw, and you're ready to stuff your turkey that morning. This is going to be our baking dish for the Rutabaga Apple Scallop. I'm going to grease it.
I like it.
Okay, so onions, leeks, celery, all cooked. So I'm just going to bring it over and dump it in the bowl. And it goes right in here. Mix this up. Yeah, we'll just give this a few minutes just to cool down a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I've added my eggs in and now I'm going to stir them up. Mix it all together and basically you're done. Perfect. Nice and moist. And whatever you can't fit into your turkey, if you want to just put it into a little loaf pan, you can bake it. Okay, now I'm going to put it in my bag. I'm going to hold that and fold it over the counter because it's going to be messy. Okay, all done.
Beautiful.
So, I'm going to tie a knot around the top of that.
Take the air out.
Take the air out. So the rutabaga took a little bit longer than we thought. So two options, cut it into smaller pieces or just wait a little bit longer. So it took maybe almost an hour for it to cook, and get soft. But it's nice and soft and mushy now. And while we were waiting for the rutabaga, my sous chef sliced and peeled apples, and the apples look a little gnarly because I picked them off a tree in Killarney. To this lovely cooked rutabaga, I'm going to add more butter. Bit of theme happening here, right? That probably didn't look very safe, did it? So I want a 1/4 cup, so I'm going to use a little bit less than this. Boom! And some cinnamon. Cinnamon. There we go. Pepper, pepper. Rutabaga loves salt. Okay, now I'm mashing. It's a good way to get your frustrations out. So I'm just going to mix this all together. I've got my prepared pan here. I'm going to move away the dangerous knife. And I'm going to take half of my rutabaga and squish it in the bottom of this pan. Okay. Put it into the bottom. Now I'm going to take my gnarly apples and lay them out in a row. This is the scallop part. Right. Use up all of these apples. Make a nice scallop. Bloody pots are heavy, eh?
Yes, another workout.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll be able to do this when we're eating
I
these
sure hope so.
Creuset pots.
Okay. Probably
Done?
should have had a little bit more rutabagas to finish off this but not bad. Okay, so plop that on the stove. Okay, I'm gonna melt the butter. So basically equal-ish parts of brown sugar, flour, so like a 1/4 cup of each. And then when the butter's melted, we're gonna melt the butter in and make like a streusel-ish topping to go on top of this rutabaga and apple scallop. So while you were waiting for the butter to melt, Mano, did we want to start the cranberry sauce?
Sure.
Because everyone needs cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving dinner, right?
True.
And again, you can buy it, but it's so easy to make and it's so much better when it's homemade. Okay, so our butter's melted, so I'm going to mix it into the flour and sugar mixture for the streusel topping for the rutabaga apple cake. I love this little pot. I'm just going to make this into like a crumbly... Okay, that was probably too much butter. So we're going to add a bit more flour. Got the sugar. Much better. I'm going to dollop this on here to spread it on. It's going to have like a crispy, crunchy topping for it. And sweet. So pop that into the oven for about 45 minutes at 350. At this point you can bake it for like half an hour and then just choose to finish it off, Like you could bake it for half an hour, stick it in the freezer, and then unthaw it, or just pop it in the oven if you have a freezered oven dish, and bake it in time for Thanksgiving. So you've got one dish made. Okay, on to the cranberry sauce. So Minnow is juicing a orange for me. A bit of water going in this pot. Quite a bit of sugar, sorry, because cranberries are kind of sour, right?
They're very sour.
So we'll bring this to a boil. I'm going to get this boiling so that the sugar completely dissolves into the water. And I was able to find fresh cranberries. Let's add the orange juice now, and we'll add the cranberries. So it's a whole, I think this is like it's a 340 gram package of
Shall I turn it
cranberries.
down?
Yes, please. Okay, add the cranberries. Okay, so we're just going to let that simmer and stew, and the cranberries will pop and soften, and before you know it, you'll have cranberry sauce. And at the end, we dress it with the zest from the orange, because cranberry and orange, as everyone knows, is an amazing combination. And I also add in a couple of tablespoons of Grand Marnier just to boost the oranginess flavor.
Beautiful.
Okay, so our cranberry sauce has been bubbling and popping for about half an hour. One thing I didn't do when I was making my cranberry sauce was rinse my cranberries, and so I was having to pick out a few sticks. So before you pour the bag into make the sauce, pour the bag into a colander, rinse them, pick out the sticks, then put them in the saucepan, okay? So this is perfect consistency. It's nice and gelatinous, so it's sort of jelly-like. It's cranberry sauce. And we're gonna take it off the heat, and we're going to add our orange zest. Yum, yum, yum. Orange zest. And then this is just a me thing. I don't know. I like to add cranberry or Grand Marnier to my cranberry sauce, so just a few bloops. Bloop, bloop. There you go. And voila, you have homemade cranberry sauce. And if you serve homemade cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving dinner, you will be a rock star. So there you go, super easy. So you've got your stuffing done, you've got your side dish done, and now you've got your cranberry sauce done. The cranberry sauce will keep in the refrigerator for at least a week.